So welcome everybody to another new physical release review, and today we're taking a look at the 4K limited edition version of The Howling. Now this was released in 1981, directed by Joe Dante, who's done a few of my all-time favourite films, Gremlins, The Burbs and Matinee, but he's also done The Gremlins 2, The New Batch, Small Soldiers, Piranha and Inner Space, all films I'd recommend watching at least once. And it also stars Dee Wallace, who was also in E.T., Cujo, Critters, as well as having minor roles in The Frighteners, The Hills of Eyes, and The Stepford Wives. Also stars Patrick Macnee, who I've not seen that much from, admittedly, but he was in A View to a Kill, The Battle of the River Plate even, and Waxwork. And it also has cameos by directors Jonathan Kaplan and Roger Corman, as well as longtime staple Dick Miller, because Dick Miller would also have slightly bigger roles in the likes of Gremlins and Gremlins 2, as well as other Joe Dante films. And this film is about a bizarre and near fatal account with a serial killer that a newswoman has. She is therefore then sent to a rehabilitation centre whose inhabitants may not be what they seem. Now, there were 3 werewolf films released in 1981. This, Wolfen, and An American Werewolf in London being the other 2. Now, I'm not a massive... I'd say this is my least favourite of the 3, with Wolfen being second and then American Werewolf in London being first. But still, this is overall a really rather good film, thanks to the cast, superb practical effects, a great score. Once the film properly gets into the main thrust of its plot, it's really rather engrossing, and it's overall well paced. It is nicely shot, while generally being entertaining. So, but it's still, like I said, my third favourite of the Wolf films from 1981. But yeah, still, this is a really nice release. Seen a lot of really nice releases lately, and nice new cover artwork, nice solid box. You got a load of special features on it as well, which we'll go through in a minute. And I forgot to say as well that the groundbreaking effects were by Rob Bottin, who also did The Thing, The Fog, and Total Recall. So that kind of puts you in mind to what you're going to get in for if you've not seen this before. So it comes in a nice little outlay kind of thing. No hard box inside, but still that's fine. So you've got the 4K release there, then the Blu-ray, and finally a whole documentary made on the kind of films that this is like. It's called Creature Designs: The Frankenstein Complex. It's only on DVD, but I've never seen it before. I didn't even know it was coming with that. So that's going to be interesting to look at, because it's going through like, Jurassic. I think it's going through like King Kong, Terminator, maybe Jurassic Park as well on there. But yeah, still looks really rather interesting, and at the end of the day, it's another addition to the film itself. You also get a really nice booklet, again with the artwork on it, same as on the rear. And it's just got about the cast, the crew, production notes, about the 4K restoration, a statement by Joe Dante himself, who said, "I made sure to supervise the Laserdisc transfer of The Howling because I was so disappointed with the quality of the VHS release. Over the years, I've colour corrected numerous versions of the movie, partly because it's had so many different owners and distributors, some for home video, some for cable, syndication, etc. But I can honestly say this 4K is the best The Howling has looked since it came out of the lab in 1980, maybe better. I'm happy to have it back in circulation at last." So, there's the director himself giving his seal of approval, and you can't really get any better than that. And it talks about the background of the film, production history, which is quite long actually. You got the legacy of the film. Then you got biographies of Joe Dante, John Sayles, who was a screenwriter, Michael Finnell, who was a producer, and then you got Dee Wallace, biography of her, and then you got the original 1981 The Howling press kit. So that just tells you about the people involved and the actors and the like. So that's all really nice. And then you got the story at the back for the press, and then an advertisement for the documentary that it comes with. So really going to be enjoying that documentary at some point. And you also get art cards, which are all really nicely printed and really on nice thick cardboard, which is always a nice thing. It's sometimes horrible to get really rather cheap and flimsy ones, and even better, it's not got any guff on the front of it either, so you can just put them up and put them where you wish. There we go. And finally, outside of that, you also get a really nice poster with the new artwork on it as well. Again, on really nice thick paper. So it's not going to rip easily or anything like that. And I will sit back a little bit further just so you can see it properly. There we go. I would prefer... Oh, that's upside down. I would prefer it if it didn't have the brand new restoration thing on the top. The same was an issue with the Don't Look Now poster that came with it. But outside of that, yeah, it's really nice. Really nicely printed. Really nice new artwork. And like I said, it's on proper thick paper. This isn't going to scratch or rip at any time soon, quite frankly. So, yeah, really rather nice release. A bit expensive. I think it was $35. But at the end of the day, you're getting a 4K film. You're getting a whole documentary on the kind of film that it's like, you know, monsters and stuff like that. And you also get a new Inside the Career of Joe Dante documentary. You also get Welcome to Werewolf Land, deleted scenes, outtakes. And yeah, that documentary I was talking about also features Joe Dante himself, as well as Guillermo del Toro, obviously director of Pan's Labyrinth from the Hellboy film. So, yeah, really nice release. Could have been a little bit more in depth in terms of some special features, because there isn't actually all that much there in comparison to some. But on the whole, yeah, that documentary alone makes it worth the extra bit of money over, you know, a standard 4K release. And yeah, really looking forward to seeing it in its new 4K glory, because I haven't quite frankly had the time to watch it yet, but given the fact that Joe Dante has given his seal of approval, it can't be all that bad at all. So yeah, if you've seen it on 4K already, I'd like to hear your thoughts, or just your thoughts on the film in general. But nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.